have given the support that has been given this year, and which is a step up from last year. I think last year I had to bend a few elbows to get everybody aligned, but it wasn't difficult because I saw the vision. But it was our first time, and I think they were more cautious. When they saw what was produced last year, they said, yes, this thing is really special. And of course, this year it's going to be even more special, and in fact, better and purer, because it will be entirely a production of the Rastafari 980 team. And we'll have to give thanks for that. I think High Times, to me, they made a huge error in the way in which they approached the matter, which has led to them ceasing to be part of this. But it could well be a blessing in disguise, or maybe not in disguise, just a blessing, because it has enabled the team here to really step into the fullness of it and to create it in a full Rastafari way. And the former head and former chairman Michael Kennedy of High Times, he had the spirit of cooperation and flexibility, which was really why High Times was part of the organizing of the first event. But unfortunately, he got very sick and passed away. And we just honor his memory. But what has happened since, I think, is that High Times really don't see the thing. They don't see Rastafari Rootzfest in the way that it needs to be seen. And I think it will be their loss, because I really have every confidence that this event is going to become increasingly a major part of the annual calendar for Jamaica. Internationally, I think it will be bigger than anything else in Negril as an annual event, because the message and teaching of Rastafari is international and worldwide, and the culture, that aspect of it, is so powerful, and Jamaica really owes so much to the Rastafari community for the cultural richness, apart from anything else, that they have shared with Jamaica, and which Jamaica has benefited from, and is part of brand Jamaica, And we're talking about, there was a commission of inquiry in what went on in 2010 in West Kingston, and one of the recommendations was an apology, which I believe the government has accepted, but there are other apologies which are due to the Rastafari community. And I hope, since we're trotting down the path of apologies, and we can look at apologies and more reparations as well. And we'll have Pinnacle, and we have Black Friday and Coral Gardens, and we have Bakawal, and we have all of the atrocities over the history of the movement, which there needs to be some reconciliation around that. And I would like to just use this opportunity to implore the government to look at that too, and I'd love it to be a bipartisan thing, so we don't play politics with that. And this thing, Rastafari Rootzfest, I'm very glad that it got the required permit as an exempt event again this year. And it was I have to give credit to Minister Chuck for having been willing to go down that road again this year. I think it's because of the fact that it had gone so well last year, and there was really no way in which it could be validly refused, because it had all the relevant conditions of the exemption had been adhered to scrupulously and with respect. And I want to thank the team and Ras IIV in particular for doing that and making sure that everything was done in the way that was committed, and that enabled him and the organizers to be in a position to really have the strongest possible case for this to be given an annual event status. And so, I want to big him up and thank Minister Chuck for having replicated what was done the previous year in that regard. I must say, I want to use this opportunity to implore the community, the Rastafari community, to really come together around the whole question of herb and ganja and the government policy aspects of that. You know, this is no time for division, and you know, some of what I've seen along the way pains my heart, because I think that if we're not united, if the community is not united, then a big opportunity is lost in terms of putting your case forward for further reform. Because what was done in 2015 was really a first step, and it was done in a particular geopolitical context of where we were coming from, with the war on drugs, of which ganja had been treated as very much part of that, and little Jamaica trying to venture forth with a pioneering reform that was respectful of human rights and respectful of the plant itself and its medicinal and therapeutic and sacramental aspects. You know, but it's just a start, and as Mitzi has said, it's not satisfactory by any means. You know, and it's a journey, and we had the UNGAS, the United Nations General Assembly special session in April this year, and Jamaica, again I'm thankful for this, put forward a policy position which had been developed and articulated previously before the change of government, and it was adopted and articulated in a forthright way at UNGAS. So our position is on record about national autonomy around the laws that should govern ganja. But we still are part of the treaty system, which needs reform. And the time frame around that reform isn't clear, but increasingly the edifice of the treaties is wobbling, because you now have Canada that is essentially about to legalize through a regulated system in 2017, which is a strong first world country that has a reputation for holding human rights and for strong governance. And if they go down that road, I think it's going to be increasingly hard to defend the 1961 approach that is in the Single Convention. So we need to stick to our guns and really continue the process of articulating and lobbying our position. And I think the Rastafari community was given a special place in our reform in a variety of ways, out of recognition for the special role that the sacrament has for the community. And I'm just going to ask the community to really try and put any divisions aside when it comes to dealing with the government and policy around ganja. Try and find one strong voice and articulate it. And to the police force, please work with the community. When we have a thing like a celebration of the 86th anniversary of the coronation of His Imperial Majesty, and elder is going to the dinghy, the pit 4, with a good supply of herb, it's obviously there for part of the religious, cultural, therapeutic, whatever you want to call it, part of his Rastafari affair. Is a Rastafari affair, and the police shouldn't be condemning that or seizing the man herb or anything, because at the end of the day, he has not committed that Rastafari has not committed any offense under the law. He has an absolute defense to prosecution. So the herb can't be illegal because the man in possession of it has not committed an offense. And you don't know the source. The man could have grown that 5 big plants at the yard or wherever he has his premises. So, we need to be more sensible around that. And I would urge the Minister of Justice to make sure that we avoid these kind of situations, because they're unnecessary. And just dialogue and a consultation and an openness can avoid any such embarrassments in the future. So, I don't want to talk too long. I just want to say thank you very much, Ivy, for inviting me, and the crew and the team. I'm looking forward to the Rootzfest year 2. I'm looking forward to the faces at the front gate being our faces, not some man looks like the first time they ever come to Jamaica. And generally the organization and the way it's done will be even more of us and of the Rastafari community, which will be beautiful. And I hope the weather is great And I'm sure whatever happens, it will be a great success. And I hope there will be many more to come. And I think the sponsors, I looked on the list of sponsors, and we give thanks to the sponsors. And I think that corporate Jamaica needs to take a long-term view and be bold. You know, if you can't just be putting sponsorship behind alcohol or you know, or other things. This is you know, ganja never killed nobody yet, right? And we have ganja as part of the brand of Jamaica, and we have a competitive advantage in relation to that. And so, corporate Jamaica should, when they see something wholesome and true and authentic and legit, support the thing and make we build it up, because, as I said, it can be huge, because all around the world, the combination of Rastafari, the music, and the herb is a powerful and loved combination. So it really can be very, very strong for the economy. And I'm glad the minister has indicated that he sees the growth potential, because he's definitely right. Man and man, ladies, give thanks.